who went up to 65, were they paid at 55 or not? Thank you for that clarity. You have done it very well. Chair, my question is, as you know, the father of this LASIF, when you look at it, what are the benefits of people retiring at 65 instead of 55 when they still have power? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Siatsumo. Seeing that there are no hands, PS have two very important interventions. First one, in this bill, because I'm assuming everything will be in the, once it becomes an act, this is the law that will govern LASIF. I don't think there's any other document that will be available in any office that will prescribe issues that we are deliberating today. So meaning this has to be a comprehensive LASIF document in terms of the law. And as and arising from that observation, is there a need in this law to define what is early retirement, what is normal retirement, what is late retirement, or these definitions are sitting in another law, and then we'll just cross-check these laws? Because I've seen some laws, we are told definition as provided in another law, but I haven't seen any sentence in this bill which talks about early retirement, normal retirement, and late retirement. That is my first intervention. Secondly, there's a schedule that has been attached, which is showing first schedule, second schedule, and third schedule. And there are commutation factors that have been provided. PS, you are aware that officers in local authorities have been struggling to get their money from LASIF. And at some point, the ministry has had to chip in to provide funding to LASIF through allocation in the national budget. So in the national budget, members of parliament will approve an amount that should go to LASIF. Are we going to continue having to allocate money in parliament for the LASIF fund? At what point do we ensure that the fund now becomes sustainable? Because those are issues that the bill should address. Also the adequacy of the fund to be able to meet members' needs. I haven't seen anything in this law which deals with that particular problem, because we want to do this once and for all. PS, we don't want you to come next week with another amendment that to ensure that the fund is adequate, this is what we are proposing as a ministry. So my question is, which provision in the bill is addressing the adequacy of the fund to meet members' contributions? Those will be my two first submissions. You can proceed, PS.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll probably start with the first question. You know, in terms of benefits of retiring either at 55, 60, or 65. Really, it is a choice that people can make, and this is premised on the fact that we did, as a country, amend the general law with regards to retirement age. So all we're trying to do here is to just harmonize the laws. So if I feel I'm strong enough to go beyond 55 and go at 60, I'll proceed. And if I still think, or if the law provides, because I think there are people who are allowed to go up to 65, then I'll proceed. But the law as of now says 55 is early retirement, 60 is normal retirement. So it's really a question of individual choice. In terms of definitions, I think my response to that is that the definitions are now sitting in the Principal Act, and therefore this is an amendment which is covering the retirement age beyond 55. So in terms of definitions, they are sitting in the Principal Act, Chairperson.
Which one is the Principal Act? That is why I asked, will there be another document? So we're going to have two documents, the initial act, and we're also going to have another document on the same matter. That is why are we going to combine these two into one, where the definitions will also appear? So maybe you can just clarify it, PS.
Chair, I'll allow my legal counsel to handle that aspect. I know that my cap 12 weight is double. I don't want to abuse it.
So we need a response, and then you can proceed to the last part.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. This is an amendment to the Principal Act. So what we've done is we've just specifically picked the matters that are related to the payments of benefits beyond the age of 55. If you can allow me, the section 2 of the bill, it says the Principal Act is amended by the repeal of section 25. So this is just an amendment to the main act of that is the LASIF Act. So this amendment will be read with the Principal Act. I submit, Chairman.
So I'm not a lawyer, but my simple understanding is that you should have just given us the entire document and tell us in the whole document what you are calling the Principal Act. This is what we are changing, so that we have everything. Because what you are telling me is that, and what you are telling this committee, is that this is not the only document. There's another document now where the other things are sitting. Okay, so next time I think for helping members, it will be important that when a law is being amended, and you're calling it a bill, it simply means that you are changing something. So let the original document come and what is being changed, so that we are able to follow, because now we are thinking there will be two different pieces of legislation. Honorable Kasando, you wanted to ask something. There's a third question they have not responded to. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chair. The third question is centered around whether, as government, will continue supporting LASIF, given the fact that you did mention that there are some local authorities that have been struggling to get money out of them, and vice versa. So, as government, this is a policy position. And for now, the policy is that we are supporting LASIF, and we shall continue to support them. But I'm also aware that there is some thinking in the background which is happening to try and see or to look at aspects of sustainability. So for now, my response will be limited to that. So it's a policy position, and we'll continue rendering that support, Chair.
Honorable Member for Bangwaulu.
Thank you.
And I can see there's a hand from Honorable Kalobo and then Honorable Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I think another issue that we are hoping that should be addressed, which is the major contributor to LASIF to pay pensioner, is the failure by local authorities to remit the money when it's due. Many are the times that these people's contributions is not transmitted to LASIF, and ordinarily any pension initiative should grow its own fund from its own members, so that government does not continue pumping in money. So how soon do we see councils, local authorities, to begin to remit these statutory obligations to LASIF, so that at least the fund can grow and probably invest like NAPSA and PSFP are doing? And because if you go to Article 189 of the current Constitution, I don't know how you are trying to resolve this issue, where some council workers who have retired have remained on payroll because they have not been paid. Because article says where a pension benefit is not paid on a person's last working day, that person shall stop working but be maintained on a payroll. How are you harmonizing this provision with the amendment and the failure of the local authorities to remit? Thank you, Chair.
So Honorable Kasando has raised those issues. I hope you've taken note, Honorable Pavuma and Honorable Dr. Mwanza, in that order.
Thank you very much, Chair. PSC, employees who contribute to NAPSA are entitled to a partial withdrawal. And those that are under LASIF, your people, are not entitled. So you, as their boss, their controlling officer, don't you think this was an opportunity also to bring it in the law so that they are also entitled? So how did that oversight come? So I thought maybe these people can have fair treatment, other employees in the country. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I want to know where in the Act a retiree is protected by failure of LASIF to remit funds. If I have retired at 55 and my retirement benefits are obviously calculated based on the formula provided, how long am I expected to be paid? And if I'm not paid within that prescribed period, what kind of benefits should I get for late payment? Thank you.
Yes, you can respond to those.
Thank you very much, Chair. Okay, the first question was centered around failure to remit, and when local authorities, when are they beginning to, or when will they begin to remit resources to LASIF? I think my response to that question is that for the past 3 years or so, the local authorities are up to date in terms of remittance of current contributions. They're up to date. I'm aware, Chair, that you may later on be having LASIF here, and I think that's a position that they can affirm to. So as a ministry, we are helping them to recover these resources. So current contributions are being deducted at source and remitted to LASIF. And LASIF has also been engaging local authorities individually on how they can deal with the historical debt. So there is a movement from that perspective, and if my memory serves me right, last year we had actually seen a marginal decline. I think it was 2 or 3% decline in the amounts which were outstanding or which were owed by local authorities to LASIF. So there's a bit of progress being made in that direction. And then on the aspect of how are we handling or dealing with people who have retired and they've not yet been paid their lump sum vis-a-vis the requirement for them to be maintained on the payroll. So those who've retired and have not been paid what is due to them, indeed as prescribed by the law, are maintained on the payroll. But I would also want to mention, to say that the local authorities actually do pay a retirement benefit independent of what is paid by LASIF. So those are the ones who are maintained on the payroll, and once the local authority pays, then they are taken off. So for LASIF, it is a pension scheme. Just like, for instance, if I'm employed at company ABC and I retire, and by virtue of the fact that I was contributing to NAPSA, you know, company ABC may not be obliged to keep me on the payroll if they've met all my requirements. I'll deal with NAPSA separately, whether they pay me now or pay me in future. That is a conversation that we can have with LASIF, or NAPSA indeed. And to the other aspect of an opportunity. NAPSA is giving out partial withdrawals, and don't I see this as an opportunity maybe for us to also fuse in an aspect where people who are on LASIF can actually be can actually have the partial withdrawal. Again, aspects of partial withdrawal is a policy matter. So as things stand now, people are contributing to LASIF, and they are contributing to NAPSA as well. So in terms of local authorities, you know, in terms of that opportunity to have the partial withdrawal, the opportunity is available for those local authorities who have actually been up to date in terms of making their contributions to NAPSA. And I think it's an open secret to say that the local authorities have been beleaguered with a lot of debt. They've been struggling to meet some of their obligations historically. And we are working very hard to narrow this or to deal with the debt mountain. And we are making quite some progress. And I can also report that we've actually had engagements with NAPSA to see to it that we deal with these issues. So even for NAPSA, there is aggressive action that is coming from both the local authorities and NAPSA to ensure that the contributions are made to NAPSA, just like we are making to LASIF. My memory is failing me. I probably needed to take some onions before coming here.
The last question was
the last question
from Honorable Dr. Mwanza.
What was the question, just as a reminder here?
Yeah, it's when an employee has retired, and is there any way that we can protect the employee through an act to talk about the timeline as when they can expect their payment? Through that equation, is there any compensation that if LASIF does not pay in time, will they accrue other benefits?
Is the question clear, Piers, so I need to clarify?
No, it is clear.
Thank you.
It's just that, like I indicated, Chair, probably needed to take onions. But just when he mentioned the opening statement, I remembered what is looking at. So will there be any benefits for instance, Hamaundu retires and LASIF is not paying him? The Act prescribes how you retire and when you be paid. So that in itself defines what you are entitled to. And if one feels that they have not been treated according to the provisos of the law, since it is the law, they can still have recourse to the law. And I don't think that we'll now begin to go into specifics to say how do you protect, because the whole essence of LASIF or any pension scheme, they actually exist for the pensioners. They are meant to protect the interest of the pensioners. They are meant to make funds available to the pensioners. So broadly speaking, the answer is they are adequately protected, but sometimes the reality turns out to be that one, there could be a delay or two, and those are peculiar situations which must be dealt with administratively. Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary. We are assuming that you have responded to the queries that we've raised. Honorable Kasandwe, your submission, and then I'll make my last submission before we can excuse the witness.
Yes, I just want to take advantage of your presence. There is a member in this committee that insists that government is now the one which has taken up the payroll of local authorities. Is that the reflection on the ground that government is directly paying salaries, central government is directly paying council workers? Is that the correct position? Just want to take advantage since you are here.
Honorable Kasando, actually it is linked to our topic today, because if it means, if government is paying and the money is there, it means that moving forward, LASIF will always be up to date. So it's an important question. PS, before my intervention.
Thank you very much, Chair. We have two categories of employees in the local authorities at the moment. I'm sure that the committee is aware that last year the President, His Excellency, did launch the decentralization policy and the implementation plan. So as government, we've begun to implement decentralization. And to that effect, a number of officers have been attached from central government to local government or the local authorities. So it is that cadre of staff who are coming from central government who continue to enjoy or be paid from central government. Those who ordinarily are already in the local authorities, they still draw their salaries from the local authorities. So that is the position, Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much, PS. My last intervention before we excuse you. Do you have the figures of how much money LASIF is sitting with in terms of contributions? Do they have money? Because I know when NAPSA was presenting their partial withdrawal, they were able to tell the nation how much money they have and whether it will be economical to withdraw part of the money into the people. So for LASIF, do you have the figure? Do you know how much money LASIF is sitting with?
Thank you, Chair. The answer is no. But suffice to say, Chair, that by virtue of the fact that as central government, we continue to support the LASIF, it's an indication to say they may not have adequate resources. That's why we are rendering support to them. So that is my response, Chair. I submit.
Last submission, you indicated in your presentation that there are 499 claims of those who are above 55. And this is amounting to close to 15 million kwacha. Who is going to pay this amount? Is it LASIF or the ministry will chip in once again?
Thank you, Chair. It's the responsibilities with LASIF. And like I indicated earlier on, as government, we remain committed to make resources available, particularly to help retirees. So with the budget provisions that are being made, the resources are commingled. So there's money from central government and there's also money which is being submitted by the members. So it's a combination of two really. But what is also a factor is that LASIF has been struggling, and there's need to see to it that we find a long-lasting solution to the challenge that they face. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Permanent Secretary. We are grateful for your presentations. I'm sure with the information you've provided, it will enable us to engage other witnesses on other matters. We did confer upon you provisions of CAP 12, which provisions we are withdrawing immediately, and we will communicate to you if there will be need for the ministry to reappear on other matters that we may not have tackled. I thank you, Permanent Secretary.